they actually have a pod which you can go in, there's a bed and a blanket and you can go take a quick nap.
But tell me, is that a good thing or a bad thing? If somebody needs to sleep at work...
I'm Diya.
And I'm Rohit.
Welcome back to a father-daughter podcast, where we dig into real conversations about leadership, culture and everything in between. And today we're going to be talking about wellness and work-life balance. So, Dan, I want to start by asking you, how have you seen the phrase work-life balance evolve over the last few decades?
Well, I think rather than the word evolve, I think it's just the frequency at which you hear the phrase, which is what has accelerated over time.
Yeah.
Right? When I started work, way long time ago, there wasn't, we all understood the concept of work-life balance, we all understood the concept about burnout, but it wasn't something that was expressed that I need my work-life balance. The focus on work was much more, the balance you would figure out.
Got it.
What we hear today is people very actively seeking work-life balance, which I frankly I think is a good thing, right? But today I think people look at it much more actively, and from looking at work-life balance on a, I'll work harder for this year and then I'll take my holiday, I'll work harder this quarter, then I'll take my break. I think this generation today looks for work-life balance on a daily basis. Yeah. And I think that's the big shift between work-life balance over the last 30 odd years as I've seen.
Got it. And the other buzzword we hear a lot is wellness. How do you think wellness influences work-life balance, or work-life balance influences wellness? How do you think the two tie together?
So if you look at work-life balance, right? The balance is between work and life, and a part of that life is your family, your loved ones, your health, right? Yeah. Taking care of kids. All that comes into the phrase, into the word life. If you bring that or go deeper down into that, wellness is an extremely integral and an important part. Now, if the way I think of wellness is it covers three parts, right? Your mind,
okay,
your body, and your soul/spirit. So, if you think of mind, you need to be mentally at peace. One of the things that we hear from the workplace then is the stress that gets created from the workplace that leads to, I guess, a lack or a negative impact on wellness, and that impacts your balance, right?
Yeah.
So, if you think about it in that manner, mind is impacted from the workplace through the levels of stress or the peace or the enjoyment which you have at the workplace. Body is, I think, much more outside of the workplace.
Okay.
And I think you need to think about body through not just what you do physically. We all heard of or know somebody who's passed away tragically, often enough, on the treadmill or while exercising. So, and these are just the realities today. You hear doctors talking about this happening more frequently to more people than it was in the past. Now, I don't know whether that's supported by data, but it is tragic.
Yeah.
So I think taking care of one's physical health is very, very important. Now, whether it is through your regular workouts, whether it's through your working out through running or through walking, cardio, fitness,
nutrition,
yoga. So all those are part of the physical wellness bit. The other part of the physical or through the body is also nutrition. And I think that, where the work-life balance has an importance on this is you're working till late, so you order rubbish food at the workplace, you're working late nights, you're ordering pizzas, things of that sort. So nutrition plays an extremely important aspect as well.
Got it.
Right? So there's mind, there's body, and of course then, for your soul or for your spirit, it's what you individually believe in, whether it's spirituality or religion. And different people have their own views. So I don't use mind, body and soul because some people don't believe in the concept of soul. So, but I think just the inner spirit is extremely important. So I think there is a very, very strong correlation between work-life balance and look at how much I just talked about on wellness, right? And we just brush it as a phrase under work-life balance.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important for all of us to focus on the wellness aspect in order for us to live a far better, far more positive, far healthier, far more present life.
Understood. And what do you think organizations can do to build that culture and that ability for people to get these three forms of wellness into their lives? I mean, obviously, other than like 3-day weeks, but what else can they do?
No, I think the workplace culture of not having excessive stress for people, right? Or okay, there is a work pressure, but then you keep that through the work day, right? If you minimize people taking the pressure home, like I know you've talked about how do we tell our customers that our CRM numbers are closed from 7 p.m. till 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? We don't expect them to answer the phone, and if you have an emergency line in case there's a problem.
There's an emergency. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So that act of what you've been talking about certainly contributes to mental wellness.
Mental wellness, yeah.
For people and for their teams, right? So that's on the mind side. Just ease off on when you generate the pressure.
Got it.
We're not going to be able to, in this day of people needing to deliver based on stock market returns and pressure of customers and delivery and all of that. I don't think you can be in a stress-free environment. I think it's the time of when you turn it on and turn it off can be managed. So I think that's on that front. I think just giving people time.
Okay.
I think being empathetic to people's pressures that they face. Look, everybody goes through pressures at home. If you can come into work and if you can talk to your leaders and say, listen, I'm going through a challenging time, cut me some slack. If you have an organization there where that is encouraged and supported,
yeah,
your ability to generate wellness and work-life balance just goes up so much.
Absolutely.
Right? So you've heard my responses to some of your questions, right? So let me now put this to you. And a couple of questions. How does an organization create a scenario of this sort?
Yeah.
And do you think it's relevant?
So I absolutely think it's relevant, and I think it's necessary, because if you spend from say 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day, Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday in some cases, right, at the workplace. So wellness doesn't come after 7 p.m. or doesn't start after 8 p.m. or whenever you get home, right? Wellness is also through your work day. And I personally think the way organizations could look to do this, and I'm a very firm believer in this, is if people and colleagues find friends at work. So if you manage to find, and one of the ways I've tried to do this, right, is when you have a buddy when you join the office.
Right.
I've tried to say, how do we match your buddy as someone who you are likely to be friends with outside the office, and therefore when you've come in, you found your first friend at work, you've then gotten socially settled in, and therefore you could have a high pressure day, but you have your support ecosystem even at work.
Right.
It's not just about the way the organization does it through, say, meditation pods, and I know some offices in fact have sleep rooms, right? You're working a really long day, sometimes you may need to work slightly long hours. They actually have a pod which you can go in, there's a bed and a blanket, and you can go take a quick nap.
But tell me, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because from an HR point of view, it's a good thing. Look, they're working hard, they need to take a nap, let's have them take a nap, right? Isn't there a counter argument to say, if somebody needs to sleep at work?
There's definitely a counter argument, which is the stress levels that are in their lives, that they're
Right.
needing to sleep at work, right, and needing to take that nap, and that's not actually being recharged.
Yeah.
But in that high pressure moment, imagine instead of being able to go take that nap, you just had someone who said, okay, I got your back, let me go grab you a coffee while you're working, let me just refill your water bottle.
Yeah.
Right? Something so small, you just feel like I have my people and I have my support system in that environment, and it's natural, right, that you will have moments of stress at work.
Sure.
Who can you count on? So I think organizations need to look at the wellness aspect in the workplace, but not through the tangible items, maybe through the tangible items as well, but also through intangible actions like this.